Hi guys, welcome to today's workshop. My name is Olu, and today I'll be sharing my experience as a builder in DeFi Track to encourage everyone building in semester 3 and also to discuss ideas around what you can build during this hackathon and a little bit about what is happening in DeFi landscape at the moment. So before we proceed, I would give a little bio about myself. As I said, my name is Oluwafemi Alofe. I'm the co-founder of SailFish. And to give it context, SailFish is a first text on EduChain Open Campus right now. We were winner of semester 1 hackathon. We were first in DeFi category. And ever since then, SailFish has gone through a bit of iteration. And currently we're live on EduChain mainnet. As you can see on my screen, and the price down a bit. We currently have a few tokens listed on our platform. You can currently visit SailFish to use SailFish. And that's about that. So to get back to the slide, as I've mentioned, I'm a 2x winner for semester 1 and semester 2, and I have a decade of experience. I like building stuff a lot. And I have 4 years of experience in the blockchain space. So currently, the DeFi landscape as it is right now is more bullish about a few things. I've tried to highlight them here. The first one is that the dominance of liquid staking token at the moment as Lido engine layer, basically, which is to say tokens like say Edu or Ethereum, which are staked, and then a derivative of those tokens are minted, and those derivatives can be used for other things like securing a loan or maybe like trading, and then get the value for that. So think, for example, you are staking Edu and then a derivative is being minted for Edu, and then you can use that derivative for like other things, like say, for example, you can use it to take a loan on one of the dApps that are currently available on EduChain, right? And there is also the rise of RWA with on-chain finance. EduChain itself, it's tokenizing education. And as for DeFi, other things that can also be tokenized. So basically that's another category that's trending at the moment. And of day 3 right now, SailFish itself is a VDEX, which what that means is that it's a vote escrow DEX. And one of the top DEX that does that right now is Aerodrome. And we've seen this, and it's now one of the top chain, and it has and that's because of the way it is built around the community governance and also participation, as opposed to how Uniswap is basically. And also the idea that there's bribes that can be introduced to liquidity providers, which introduce like a flywheel effect that keeps the whole community from traders to liquidity providers to protocols, incentivized to like push the protocol itself, which which is what SailFish does. And then the next bit is also considering liquidity, just like Uniswap V3 style. Again, for SailFish, that's also what we do. We also have like V3 launch at the moment, which is our first thing. And the reason because for V2 has the standard XY equals K, right? And for that, liquidity is distributed, across the whole price range, right? Across the whole price range, which makes it not very liquidity effective, especially for stable currency or closed pair tokens, right? But right now with V3 style, even if the liquidity that was added to a particular token is like really low, when it comes to, price changes, it doesn't really affect it, right? That's another thing that people are switching to. Nobody's really using V2 at the moment again. And then again, these days to L2s and L1 and alternative, which EduChain is low fees and higher speed, right? Nobody wants to swap $10 of token and pay, gas fee, $3, or nobody wants to have to deal with all of that at the moment, which, as a builder, you're in luck that you're building on EduChain because of this fast transaction and low speed and quick speed, I was going to say. So the final bit is AI and DeFi, which is like, save the last for the best. Right now, as you would know, like AI agents, AI in general is like really, really a thing at the moment. So right now we see a lot of model where people are building a lot of things like, which can be done on EduChain, like credit scoring model, automated trading bots, AI-driven yield optimization, like all of these are emerging at the moment, and it's like a good time to like jump on a thread. So as a builder, how would you choose your idea, right? And I've been able to boil down into like 3 points, right? The first point is value to EduChain, right? whatever you're trying to build, think in your mind, what value does it bring to the chain? Don't just like build because you want to build, because you want to get a prize. Build because of the value you're trying to bring to the chain. So is it TVL you're trying to bring to the chain? Is it new wallet you're trying to bring to the chain? Or if you're not bringing any of this, like, are you trying to integrate with existing dApps and, you know, trying to build the TVL from there, right? And trying to make things better? Or you're trying to ease existing solution? I mean, an example of like easing existing solution is basically, which is one thing we did at SailFish. Before now, bridging your edu from BSE to EduChain, you would have to go through Arbitrum Bridge, and then you have to go through Gelato. Like, that's like 2 UI. You need to have gas on BNB, then you need to have gas on Arbitrum. What we simply did was, just to show you, we basically consolidated both UI, although it's still going through like BNB to Arbitrum, but we consolidated both UI, and then what we did was we bridge gas from BNB to Arbitrum. So it basically means you only need to bridge your token from BNB, which is the EduChain token, which is on BNB, and then we'll bridge gas automatically for you. Don't have to worry about getting gas on Arbitrum, and then you can get it to EduChain, right? So it could be that you don't necessarily have to like build something entirely new. You could look at all of the existing solutions that we have right now. You know, there are new things or the existing problems that are not so, you know, optimized well, and then, you know, build something to optimize. It could even be an SDK basically. Right now, there are dApps at the moment like, you know, EdBank, Drafts Academy, you know, Ashib is building, you know, the Edu CLI. Like, you could build SDK around all of these things such that builders coming in, you know, semesters that are upcoming, semester academy are upcoming, or current builders that want to build and integrate with other dApps are able to use your SDK. For example, we have Launchpads trying to use SailFish at the moment to be able to like do swaps and things like that. You could build an SDK on top of SailFish and build the SDK so that every other dApps are able to just easily integrate. Maybe a Launchpad, they want to like deploy token, they just use it basically. Or a price oracle, right? Price oracle is a thing right now on EduChain that really been needed. SailFish has the capability, you can build a price oracle on top of SailFish because we are V3, and you can basically observe price for like 30 minutes. You can observe price for like a whole day and do time weighted average price and then return it back to anybody that wants to use that. Like, you could basically do that. You don't necessarily have to build like entirely new idea. You could, on existing solution right now, I've given several examples. There are things that you can basically just build out and be fantastic. Again, the next thing is, you know, can your idea qualify for OCI incubator, right? You know, when I say building things, like, don't just build for, oh yeah, like I said, you're going to get a price. Build such that you are able to get into OCI incubator, because the value you get is like very immense, because you get a lot of mentorship, training, networking. You also will get grants for your additional, like further grants for your project also. So I think it's something you should really consider looking at. And the final bit is choosing a long dApp, choosing a dApp, I think I misspelled that. Choosing a dApp with an idea with a long-term vision, right? So, you know, does it have like a long-term goal, right? When it comes to like, you know, revenue, like I said, you know, and does it align with EduChain vision, basically? As EduChain is building, does it also like build and, you know, innovate with it, right? That's three things I've been able to boil it down to. So for DeFi builders, or for builders in DeFi category, things that I've been able to like come up with, I think, you know, you could build is, you know, strategy vaults, which right now, again, there's SailFish, there's EdBank, there is Blend, which is for lending. You could build a strategy vaults whereby people, like, there are a lot of people that don't know how to, like, you know, for example, manage their own V3, like add liquidity on SailFish and manage it themselves, because, you know, if it goes out of range, if it goes in range, all of that. Like, a normal user doesn't want to worry about that. Just build a DeFi app whereby they just come, deposit their funds, and, you know, with AI, you can basically just do a strategy whereby it goes around SailFish, Blend, EdBank, you know, tries to find like the best value, right? Or it could even be arbitrage value, basically, right? Which is another thing, right? Right now there's SailFish, and then there is Edu token on centralized exchange. It could be that it goes around, look at the price between SailFish and on SEX, and then basically arbitrage the value, buy or sell, bridge it over. You could do that. Like, it's something that you could build with, new wallets to any chain, basically, right? Another thing is perpetual DEX. Again, perpetual DEX is something again that brings like TVA or value to any chain. I think it's a good idea. There are other like protocols out there that you can fork. You can just do a fork of. You can do a fork of PAPs and then basically just build on top of that. And the good thing again is with building a perpetual DEX, you can build on top of SailFish, right? You can use SailFish as a price oracle. So the other thing again, just to round this up, is you could also look into prediction and lottery, which again, I think it's something that we get a lot of people doing a lot of on-chain transaction, which is, for example, you could build like a prediction style base where people can basically just, for every 5 minute and 10 minute window, they bet if Edu price is going up or is going down, or any other token is going up or go down. Or for lottery, where people buy tickets for lottery, where they basically can buy tickets where they can guess the number, which is, random generated number. Again, there are a lot of open source out there that you can build on top. I've mentioned liquidity staking also. And the last bit again, where I think might be interesting is on ramp, right? Again, I looking at the current, landscape of EduChain, and what I think would, get people onboarded fast on EduChain, which is like a P2P on ramp system would be a very interesting thing to see someone build, right? Where, other dApps would definitely integrate that. You can even build an SDK on top of that, which basically anybody wants to use, buy Edu token, for example, on SailFish, they can just, do P2P bank transfer, and then, any country basically at the moment, something limited. That'll be interesting to see at the moment. So that's all for me. I would really be looking forward to see what you amazing builders will be building during semester 3 hackathon. Catch you all later.